Grimoires and Darktide suck, so I'm going to start a little brainstorming session and go through some personal suggestions about how we can make them more fun and rewarding to take. This video is going to be more like a 5 minutes podcast, but please feel free to enjoy me messing around with a grimoire in the background. Please throw any suggestions you have down below, and let's have a conversation about them. But first, why do they suck? In-game, at Damnation difficulty, they reward you with an extra pool of experience, which is pointless at level 30. And that whole in-game mechanic needs a big rework anyway, as it's an easy avenue to drive player reward for continuous gameplay. Something as simple as the experience bar refreshing, then gaining a legendary quality weapon at each prestige level after 30 would massively increase the motivation and drive to continue playing the game. This would not only give the game's endgame, as lackluster as many players believe it is, a huge boost, but it would also give purpose to things such as experience perks on curios, which are currently useless, as well as driving players towards challenging content such as high-intensity shock troop gauntlet for the extra experience gain. Anyway, I digress. The Grimoires also reward you with some extra auto dockets as well, which is also a meaningless reward for most level 30 players. This all means, at level 30, picking up Grimoires is essentially handicapping yourself in an unfun way to gain one pointless resource and a tiny bit extra of another almost pointless resource. I personally don't enjoy the base or continuous corruption they give you, and I resent having to build curios to resist the amount that they corrupt you. Though this could be changed if the rewards were worth the effort of losing continuous max HP throughout a mission. But how could their rewards be changed for the better? Of course, they could change the way experience works, as I mentioned earlier. This would indirectly make Grimoires much more worthy, but outside of that, I came up with 3 easy ideas they could implement that could make players more willing to face the challenge of corruption. Firstly, they could take a note out of their own book and enable them to increase or enhance the loot from the mission, just like in Vermintide 2. Everyone loves extra loot incentive, as Darktide's end of mission loot comes in the form of an Emperor's gift and not boxes. Maybe it could add an extra weapon onto the gift, an Emperor's pantry if you will. It could also possibly guarantee a free 75 plus weapon instead of multiple weapons. This is the most basic way in which they can boost the Grimoire incentive. Secondly, maybe they could add some team-based mechanics to how they work. Maybe something such as gaining a percentage amount of Grimoire corruption resistance depending on how many squad mates are in coherency. So it would still provide the extra challenge by reducing your max HP, but this would give the team an incentive to, well, work as a team to get to the end and finish the mission alive, whilst reducing that rather unfun ticking corruption, and would also mean we can build curios for more fun things instead. Thirdly, I have a feeling this would never happen, but who knows. Maybe they could add a small amount of Aquilas for completing the missions with Grimoires. This would have multiple factors that determine how the reward scales, such as mission difficulty and special condition. I highly doubt they would ever implement this, as I imagine they're precious about us spending all of our pennies to get them. However, it would provide possibly one of the greatest incentives to accept the challenge of Grimoires, as it would be an avenue for players to earn premium items from the store without spending their own money. Obviously, this would have to be balanced in a way that meant you couldn't just steamroll difficulty 1 missions to farm them, so they could add them to Heresy and Damnation difficulty missions as a starting point, with special conditions such as high intensity and shock troop gauntlet maybe increasing the reward by a small additional amount. These are just a few easy ways I thought that could make Grimoires more enjoyable or rewarding to pick up. As I said at the beginning, throw your suggestions and options down below, and I'll see you on the next video.